Hi, thank you for tuning to the Just Respected podcast with your host, Marcus.
And Cynthia Jordan.
We'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to give this podcast a listen. We truly appreciate it, and we pray this podcast blesses you. If you enjoy it, please subscribe below. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Just Respected podcast.
Thanks for joining us this week.
We are happy to have you guys again and allowing us to tune in with us, and thank you for guys for continue just to rock with us. And if you haven't done so, and if you're new, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the new content that comes out.
Definitely.
And what's up, my love? Girl, you is looking
Hello.
good in that shirt.
I know, it's very comfortable. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that disrespected fashion. You know, not to plug anything.
Oh, you're funny. Yeah, I mean, another day. Not too bad. How are you?
Doing good. Hey, it's the first week of March.
It is.
We've made it to 2 months
spring
already. I know, right? It really starting to show us how fast a year really goes by.
It does. I am here for the warmer weather, though.
Yeah, I mean, this winter hasn't been too bad, but I am ready. But at the same time, it's like we say every year, when it started getting hot in June down here in Georgia, we start complaining about the heat.
That is true, but I feel like quarantine made winter and like the cold weather just a little worse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, can't complain. There's so much to be grateful for.
We so made it through.
Blessings.
Right.
Yeah, but our topic for today is self-image.
Self-image.
Very important concept. We all have ideas or opinions of ourselves or a certain type of way how we see ourselves, like our images. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about self-image?
I feel like we judge ourselves a lot. We are our worst critics, and
I agree.
It's like for some, it's hard for us to take compliments, and then for others, it's like we feel like it comes natural. Where you know.
You know what? I think that's true. I think there's so much that can go into self-image because there's so much that can, influence your self-image,
mm-hmm.
like how you see yourselves, based off just like, the current relationships in your life, whether that be like, the world view or, whatever's going on in culture, like your culture influence, like what's on TV, celebrities, your idols.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's, and especially with, the amount of technology in today's day, like I feel like there's so many outlets
mm-hmm.
and so many influences that can affect one's self-image.
Right. It plays a big part in also the way you was raised, the way you were brought up.
Definitely.
That sets a huge foundation to what you become in the future and your habits that you end up taking up. Like I know, like that saying, the older you get, you start to look back and you realize you had the same tendencies as your parents.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Or you understand them better.
Yeah, you understand them. From a whole different level.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
It all molds you. Like how we always tell everybody's raised differently. The way you was raised and things that were pretty much instilled in you, whether that was positive or negative energy that was coming your way. It made you kind of who you are. It made you look at people a certain way. It made you trust differently,
Yeah, self-image is so important because, like you say, it can also reflect the way how you see others to the way how you see the world. But
mm-hmm.
one thing that I find that's so interesting with self-image is that, like, also in interviews, like, they'll kind of ask you, like, what are your greatest strengths or attributes? Like, a lot of times, like, people want to see if you're going to, like, sell yourself. What do you think of mm-hmm. yourself? How do you see yourself? And, there are some people who are very confident. There's some who are very cocky. And then, there are some who are very humble. And then there are some who don't see their potential at all. Like, don't see what everyone else sees. Or,
right.
Somewhere, in between the two ranges. Or
it's always like a category.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy, even hearing you say that, I thought about it in the terms of like school. Like people have like on standardized testing. Some people are graded tests and some people are not. But it's like every time when you have those categories, it's like you always got to put it in like least to greatest. Greater to least. But it's like. No, it should just be an equal playing field right across the board. But those are all the things that we get caught up in our self-image.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's true. And then another thing that I find so interesting about self-image is that a lot of times it's also geared towards like success. Like, like when you're doing those like personality questionnaires or those icebreakers, like, like when you have to do it either like in school or some sort of like extra program or your career or
Right.
anything like that. Just like what ways do you measure your success, or what successes or attributes do you have in your life? So it's almost like
So,
your attributes reflect your self-image,
right,
like
right.
how you,
tell me
your
this:
accolades.
are you good at taking or doing interviews?
I'm horrible at doing interviews.
Mm-hmm. But that's because more so.
Are you good at interviews?
That's more so you're yeah, because you're an introvert
interviews.
and I'm an extrovert. I love to socialize.
But we're opposite.
But we're opposite,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I may see myself differently how other people see me. I know I'm hard on myself, and that's something I've had to work on over the years and try and give myself grace. But I don't think I see myself maybe the way other people see me. At least sometimes I would hope not, because sometimes I feel like our own thoughts can be so cruel about, but would you have that opinion of a friend? At least I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Some of the times the thoughts I have about myself, I would not have that thought about you or about someone I love. So it's also like, why do I sometimes
it's like you think
that way of myself, but like I think so highly of other people.
Right.
It's also like self-image,
right.
self-love. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like, give yourself grace. Like, no one's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
And I like what you were also talking about, like with friendships too, like relationships, also reflecting your self-image. Like when you grow up as a child, like, you either learn how to be yourself or you learn how to like dim your light, like what you said, and that can also reflect your self-image. Like, are you being your true self?
Yeah.
Because you also were like, what if I make this person upset or say something to offend this person?
Like you fall into
anxiety. It's like a whirlwind of.
Yeah, it's like you fall into self-doubt.
Yeah.
And you start to feel like that voice in your head is so loud that it pretty much crowds out any other body that anyone that comes toward you trying to give you that positivity. You done heard it replay so much in your mind that it's just like, no, you're lying to me. It's like, and it's really that shocking feeling, because you can see it a lot of times in like your coworkers or people that you run in contact with. You'll give them a compliment, and then next thing they'll do is like, oh my gosh, me? Like, oh, why thank you? It's just like, but you gotta pay attention to that. It's because a lot of us suffer for that. A lot of us are dealing with things that you really can't see on the surface level, but it all acts in how people are going to perceive us.
Yeah.
Even with us doing the podcast, it's like we're putting ourselves out there for content value and to give a good message across, but at the same time, it's like the nervousness of it, because it's like, I don't know how people are going to take to it, or, and that's like a nervous thing too. It's like, even when you go to make new friends, you're putting yourself out there. Like you said in the interview, you're always putting yourself out there. And a lot of times, like we said before, when hurt people, that is something that becomes something that you're grounded in. So, me and you was actually talking early this week, and we were saying about like how the way we were raised, you come from a Caribbean background, and I come from American background, but it was so different. It's kind of similar in some ways, because the way of the mannerisms and the way we got to go back respecting others was like instilled into the household. But at the same time, the negative hurt that could come as that children face.
Yeah.
It's like you look at a bully in school and you wonder, like, why are they so mean, or why do they have so much aggression?
Makes you wonder, like, how do you see yourself too?
Right.
Like, do you see yourself on a pedestal, or do you see yourself lower than that person you're picking on?
Exactly. But then when you look at it, when it stems deeper, you find out that this bully is actually being picked on himself.
Yeah.
And so now they look at it as a coping mechanism, like, I guess this is my way of trying to reach out and make friends, or I'm reaching. It's not in it's in a negative way, but it's like, this is my cry out for help. It's my cry out for attention in a way. And a lot of times it's like when someone is doing something in a negative behavior, they're shunned or they pushed aside.
Yeah.
When a lot of times it's like if you really think about it from a different perspective, that person could be hurting.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like a positive self-image is so important to have because you know insecurities lead to that.
Right.
Lower self-esteem
So,
or like
tell me
negative
this.
self-image.
For you, what do you do to give you to build yourself to give you that positive energy?
Oh, when I start throwing myself a pity party.
Right. When the woe is me.
I literally have to take a deep breath and just breathe and I have to get over myself. Like it sounds hard, it sounds stupid to say, but a lot of times I have to get over myself because it's so much bigger than me, honestly. And the way I see myself is, I mean, God created me. If this is the way He created me to be, personality and everything, and if He loves me and accepts me as I am, I should too. And if nobody else, and if other people don't want to, that's their problem.
Right.
So I feel like my self-image is growing. That's why a lot of times I kind of take like isolation, like time to myself to kind of recoup.
Rein it
try
all
to
in.
find, yeah. And I'm still trying to find myself. I'd be lying if I said it. I knew who I am today. I'm still finding my self-image.
And that's good. That's good that we do take that time for ourselves too. I know for us, it can get to the point where we get comfortable in the time being, especially in COVID and quarantine, that we're trying to keep our distance. It can get to the point where we get so comfortable with being in our time that it's like, oh, I forget to come out, and be sociable again. But a lot of times, what's so good about it, because even I heard people say, like, the way we start our day, it reflects on how your day is gonna go. Like the way you start, put your best foot forward. So whether that being, if some people like to go work out in the morning, some people like to start their day with their devotional. Some people like to get into like music, just get the vibe right. It's all about how you want to start on a high note, just to mellow it out.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about what you were saying about our self-image and how people may perceive ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically what you said in the car, is that when you start focusing on, instead of reacting to others, you're more so focusing on your own action and yourself. And that's a test to like how we've been talking about. We started off this year, guys, doing the 21-day fast beginning of the year, and now we pretty much, without realizing it, we actually got into doing the daily devotional together. And if you have not done that, download the Bible app and get with a group of friends, whether it's your spouse or your best friend. It don't have to be a group of people, just someone that you can have it as accountability partner. Just to get yourself in a mindset of meditating on on what God wants for us, and also getting to the point of understanding Scripture and understanding like, this is a book that reads us just as much as we need it.
Yeah.
And
just
so
focusing in on Him for that sense.
Right. And for us, it's been doing a world of great, just because we've been able to diagnose issues that we've been dealing with personally and in our marriage, where we feel like, okay, this is where we can grow. But definitely. I'm sorry about that. I've been on. I guess I went on a rant, but
no, you're fine. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Like, I don't even know, but it's
but it's all about self-image.
It's
it's about how what you're pouring into yourself.
Exactly. And I will say, like, you help me have a very positive self-image too. You're always boosting my head.
I mean, but that's what you need. Like I feel like everybody need that hype, man. Like when you listen to a song on the radio and they got that good beat to it, and you got that one person.
When you're watching that performance.
Yeah, like E40 or Lil Jon come there and just hype it up. No, the best hype man is Kurt Franklin. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you need in your life. You need someone that's gonna give you that, man. Hey, I'm bummy today, but this person got all that energy. You'd be like, man, let me get some of that. Let me gravitate to that. And so that's even what we talk about with the way we view ourselves. A lot of times we're doubting ourselves. We putting so much heat on ourselves negatively. But what if but the person that we aspire to be, that person in our mind that we just like, we have ourselves on the pedestal of what we want to be. That's what you, like you said, react to. We can only control how we react to things. that's the way we need to go out each and every day and try to strive to be that person.
Exactly, that's true. Because I do feel like a lot of us who have goals for our self-image or for how we want to see ourselves or for where we want to, be in life or etc. But yeah, I think that's very important. I mean, every day take that step towards a positive, self-image, or that means meditating, doing yoga, going for a walk, self-care, taking time for yourself. If you need to cut off your phones, just walk away from everything, do it, because I mean, self-care is so important. Like you need that mental time.
And I just remember the point too, about what you said about your self-care, giving your time just, for ladies and men, go get your hair cut, do your nails, anything like that. But it's so profound because it's to think that when does God speak to you the most? Or when I'm alone. When you're alone, when I'm not even with you, it's just more so like we're separated, we're isolated. And that's what it is, like we got to stick in that isolation, and I don't know.
I mean, hey, he works wonders.
Right,
and you're alone. I mean,
and you find your identity there.
You do.
Yeah.
So I mean, just continue to work on that. Work on a positive self-image. Just continue to give yourself grace. Progress over perfection. It doesn't, stop being so hard on yourself. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, especially if you have like anxiety or any other mental illness or like stressors in your life.
And if ain't nobody ever told y'all are doing a great job. Yes. Whatever y'all do, parents, y'all are doing amazing jobs. I know a lot of times, either it's our spouse or the closest person to us, we want them to tell us, good job, we see you, we I appreciate you. So I want to be the fact that,
even those of you who just keep getting up every day and going to work and doing what you got to do. Keep going,
every day. Each day is a test, but, I thank God that we're here and we continue to progress.
Yes.
Yep. But hey, that was good. That was actually a good topic for today. I'm glad we talked about this.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that was a good topic to talk about. That was,
It was refreshing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I can't remember the last time I talked about self-image. Maybe some form of health class.
It make you want to go back and it make you want to go and do like a look at yourself in the mirror, in the bathroom mirror.
Or do like one of those personality quizzes, like who are you? Like, you're this type of person. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was good.
Hey guys, but until next week, thank you for tuning in. But until next time,
remember to walk in faith, never lose hope, live in love, and just perspective.